Vincent de Paul has still a mission for us today. And we will give some elements of that mission who are still important, who are still important for us today in the actual world. First of all, his vision on the poor. He had a special word about the poor. He said, the poor are the icons of Christ. We have really to see the face of Jesus himself in the poor. And the poor are our masters, that we have to serve with love and in service. Yeah, of course, that last element is not original from him. It is coming from Camillus de Lellis. But he was using this word of Camillus de Lellis. You will see he was also using words from other important persons who influenced him. But he was using this word of Camillus de Lellis, and he was really radicalizing it. And the two elements I think are very important. His vision on the poor. The poor are the icons of Christ. Have to see, meet, and love Jesus himself in the face of the poor. At the same time, the poor are our masters. And that gives a totally new mentality. I am not the one who is helping. I'm here, higher, and helping the poor, but I'm on the feet of the poor. Like Jesus washing the feet of his apostles at the Last Supper, we have really to put ourselves at the feet of the poor and help them. They are our masters. And masters in the two sense, masters as our guides, our boss we can say, but also masters who can from whom we can learn something. That's also the word master. So we have to use the master in these two elements. So I think it's a very important first element that we learn of Vincent de Paul. We have to be always in the service of those who are in need. And we have to see, meet, and love Jesus himself in the face of the other. Like Jesus said himself in Matthew 25:40, all you have done for the least of my brethren, you have done it for me. But we have to realize it. And from time to time, it is not easy to see always and to meet always Jesus himself in the poor. Secondly, Vincent de Paul brought together prayer and service of the poor. And that is a new element that we really receive from him. He said there is no difference between prayer and service. We have always to keep them together. And he gave a very nice element of that. He said, we have really to be ready always to help the poor and continue our prayer in helping the poor. He said to the Daughters of Charity, when you are praying in the chapel and someone is knocking at your door, stop your prayer because he is in need. Or better said, continue your prayer because Jesus, who is present in the Holy Sacrament, is also present in the poor. It is in line with the poor are the icons of Christ. And so he brought it together, action and contemplation, what we know also from St. Benedict, ora et labora. But Vincent de Paul brought these two elements really make one of them. And that is a very important element that he said then, you have to leave God for God. Some people are saying, what is that? Leave God for God. He said, God who is present in the sacrament, you have to meet him again and recognize him again in the poor. But he said you can only recognize Jesus in the poor when you know him already in your prayer. And that is very logical. You cannot recognize someone if you first don't know him. So very, very simple, very logical, but I think very important. So out of this link between prayer and service, we can really speak about incarnated prayer. Vincent de Paul gave some very clear explanations of that. And one example is what I told already about leaving the chapel to help the poor. But he said also, when you take a medal and you look to one side of it and you see a poor man, very ugly. But then he said you have to turn the medal and then you will see the face of Christ. A nice image to help us really to always see, meet, and love Jesus in the poor. So that's our important elements and really changements and ask the change with our mentality. And the question is here today for us, how are we going towards the poor? Are we going to them with respect and with service? So again, for Vincent de Paul, these elements were very important. Always in service and with great respect for the poor. And today, there are many poor people, and how are we looking to them? Yesterday, I was in the city, and one poor man came to me to speak with me, to ask me something, of course. But okay, you have two possibilities. Or you say, okay, go away, I don't have something for you. But you can also stop and say, okay, man, what is your problem? He started to tell me a whole story. Finally, I gave him something, but I think the way that I was looking to him, listening to him, was more important than what I gave him to him. It was only something little I gave to him, but I tried to give my attention for him. I have also an experience about that always meeting Jesus and the poor, not always easy. I give you an example. At the time I was in Belgium, and we had a feast in the hospital where I was director, and near the hospital we had also a house for the poor people. And the brother who was responsible for that house asked me, can also all the people come to the feast? I said, no problem, they are welcome. It was a feast, Eucharist, afterwards they were drinking something, and then one of these men became drunken. And during the barbecue we had, he took a chair and he put the chair in the room. Everyone ran away. The feast was over. I was, of course, very disappointed. The day afterwards, I went to the brother, and the one who came out of the house was that man. And I said to the brother, how is it possible that you still let him in? But the brother said, you always say you have to love everyone, every time, without exception. We have to see Christ in the face of the poor. I could say nothing anymore. That is real, that is reality. And the second element, I always remember when I was myself a young boy, I went for the first time to a camp with people with a handicap. And there I didn't know Vincent de Paul, not yet. But the brother, one of my teachers, said, you have to see Jesus in these children. I said, yes, brother, I will see Jesus in the children. But I didn't understand. And every day I was asking myself, how can I see Jesus in these children? Until the moment, indeed, that I was washing the feet of the children. And that moment I felt like Jesus was washing the feet of the children. Yes, that is what Jesus was doing. And here I have to see, meet, and love Jesus. So Vincent de Paul learned me a lot in my own life. And I think also for the actual time, he is still very important in the way we are looking to the poor, in the way we are serving the poor, in the way we are loving the poor, and in the way especially we always meet Jesus himself in the poor.